Good afternoon. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project Sketch, and this is... That was the wrong title. This is... Let me start over. I know, right? Totally professional. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and this is Super Secret Project Sketch. Any mystery how I got that switched? I think this is a problem that is just never going to go away. Really, Really? Okay, anyway.
Well, when it goes away is when it ceases to be funny.
And a little sad. Alright, today I wanted to just do a classic character. So I am going to be doing just good old classic Bugs Bunny. I had a bunch of them, and then I just realized that I just kind of wanted to do sort of that, not super early Bugs Bunny, but more of the classic Bugs Bunny. Yeah, and I'm going to do that thing. So yeah.
I'm blanking on the...
Okay, I'm sorry, what now?
I'm blanking on the original artist for the
Okay, not Chuck Jones.
No.
And I don't know what the super early one was where he had like the yellow gloves.
Yeah, that was like the very first incarnation.
I don't quite remember caring for him as much.
Oh, his whole demeanor was different from what we knew.
It's like they hadn't got the character figured out yet.
Yeah, I mean, and that's when they had like Fat Elmer Fudd also.
Yeah, that's right. Where he had like the bright red, like kind of like drunken nose. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fat Fudd.
Yeah.
Swear in some places about that.
You fat Fudd.
What are you looking at, you fat Fudd?
Anyways, the reason why I liked, in the current Bugs Bunny is real slick looking, but this one had a little bit more of a slight actual rabbity shape to its head, a little bit more egg shaped, and I'm not going to say it was the best design. I'm just going to say I kind of felt like doing that. You know what? I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna make it smaller. That's the point of working in 4H pencil. Easy to freaking erase. It's not that I'm advertising 4H pencil or I'm getting up on a soapbox about it, but that's exactly why I use it, because I just put a big, and the shape was actually about right, but then I realized it's Bugs Bunny, and Bugs Bunny has ears. I know. Whoop!
Welcome to my world of drawing animal characters. You gotta account for a lot of that.
I know.
You're doing good, honey. You're doing good.
It's the weekend, and I need to relax a little bit more, but I got on kind of a path this morning of getting a couple things done. And brain's going a little bit. Actually, there we go. And I think this is like the last of the big things I'm doing today. After this, I'm just going to screw around. You know, like you're supposed to do on the weekend. I'm actually just happy that I'm working this well right now. Had one of those weeks, Nothing horrible went wrong, but just like take it back. A couple things kind of went wrong, just not apocalyptically so. Mostly having to do with very private things that I ain't sharing, but enough that it got me a little off rhythm. So. Besides, if y'all are tuning in to hear about my special situations, I'm just saying, you should really not do that, because that's sad on multiple levels. So,
people want to know about our lives. We don't have to
want to know about that stuff.
Either they are in tune with us, or they're
In
on
tune?
the wrong channel.
In tune? Welcome to Stupid Jokes Saturday. It is Saturday, right?
Yes, it
I
is.
think.
That's why you're doing
I
sketch on Saturday.
Well, I also do it on Sunday. Sometimes I forget which one of those days I'm on, so. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do, what I always try to do, unless I'm like really not paying attention to what I'm doing, try to get a couple base shapes on to make sure that the layout just simply works. And so I go in, get the rough base kind of head egg in there, and then I'm going to go in, and I am going to roughly get the ears just figured out. And the simple reasoning behind this is if in a handful of shapes you can generally see the character proper, then you're doing good. If on the other hand you're starting to see some problems, easy time to catch it. Man, I tell you, at one point in time, Bugs was one of my absolute favorite characters. I just... I don't it's funny, of all the characters I thought would just keep going and going, and I'm not saying that you don't see Bugs, but he's just not around like he used to be. He used to just be, I don't want to say everywhere, but like, you know, bigger than Mickey Mouse, bigger than blah blah blah, bigger than blah blah blah, and now you just don't really see him all that much.
Well, it doesn't help that the Warner Brothers company kind of went away with a lot of their animated stuff. When they bought DC and started focusing more on the superhero stuff as opposed to their more fun stuff that made them.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that they
more all ages kind of recognizable.
Yeah.
They just kind of went away after a while. Well, shouldn't they went away, but they just kind of they shot themselves in the foot.
Well, the funny thing is they in the DC stuff was good. It's in their some of their other. I remember them doing some other stuff, but for them to have let go of some things is. It's just like, I don't know, like right now with the I caught the new Mickey Mouse, the new Disney cartoons. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen enough of them to go like, they're funny. I mean, they're really, really funny. And they're funny in a weird way, like in a non-Disney way. Like, okay, somebody's over there and somebody's thinking. Like they're starting to go like, you know, Mickey isn't sacred. We need to make things a little weird. Let's have some fun with it and really enjoy it. And then you got like the Looney Tunes show, which seems to be doing similarly. And it's not that Bugs is gone away. It's just for some reason, I would figure that Looney Tunes would be the ones that have really held that pace like every single decade since my childhood. Like I expected that level of, you know, from both the Looney Tune, the new Looney Tunes and the new Disney stuff, but from Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny through the 80s, which they were mostly there in reruns, but there was some new stuff. The 90s, there was very little. The aughts, there was very little to nothing. And now they're finally coming back, and I'm going like, why did Bugs Bunny kind of... I mean, I can get Mickey Mouse because they kind of were treating him like a sacred cow. You know, because he was like he had like the logo and stuff for the company. And fortunately, they stopped doing that with the newer cartoons, but with Bugs Bunny, he was always like there, you know, and then gone. I was like, kind of disappointed because I loved Bugs Bunny. You know, just Bugs Bunny was. God, he was just the funniest thing to me when I was a little kid.
Well, I mean, again, Warner Brothers didn't try and build them up as an empire in a sense. I think that's what Disney. They're kind of an empire, and their characters have character spin-offs. So I mean, they have all these different facets that they're covering with their including animation and cartoons with their cartoons. So they have so much stuff that they're covering with Looney Tunes. It's just, I hate to say it, it's just Looney Tunes. There's not much that they've done to try and brush out on it, aside from a couple of movies with like the Space Jam movies, and then Space Jam and then Looney Tunes Back in Action in the 90s and then 2000s, and then I think they're talking about doing a Space Jam 2 within the next few years here.
I'll be fair and honest. Mm-hmm. I thought the first one looked cool, but I've never seen the first Space Jam.
It was fun. Well,
it looked fun. I'm not a basketball guy.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not. There is basketball involved, and yes, it is based around basketball and stuff. But it's
if you're not into basketball, that makes it a little tough.
Well, I suppose. I'm not really into basketball, but I enjoyed it for the cartoons. I mean, I know I'm more into it than you are, but I still enjoyed it.
Well, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy it. I'm just simply saying that if you make like a hockey movie and people aren't into hockey, then guess what? They're not going to go watch it. So, I mean, you've got great characters in it, but it's about basketball. I'm not into basketball. Nothing against basketball. But it was just like, we're going to get a new Looney Tunes movie. I'm like, yes, it's about basketball. Oh. Okay, well, you guys go have fun with that, you know?
Well, if you ever want to watch it, there's a DVD copy in the studio.
Maybe.
Then they had Looney Tunes.
If I'm really bored.
And then they had Looney Tunes Back in Action, which that was weird, but they had some really great fun parts in that, too. That was Brendan Fraser. And
oh, right. Okay, now that sounds familiar to me.
And there was one really great part in there where it was Bugs Bunny and Daffy going through different paintings throughout the Louvre. And so they had all these famous paintings that they were going into and out of and coming and going through the mimicking the paint style in a sense. The painter style and the jokes in there, and that was actually pretty fun.
That sounds good.
Yeah. That was actually a really good clip, but I don't remember much else from that from that movie. I'll have to at some point see if I can watch it again or something. But that's the only part I remember, and I was like, other than that, nothing really stuck with me about it. The shorts that they did in the late '90s, early 2000s, the anniversary short was really funny. With with Bugs and Daffy, and they kept having to do the scene over and over because Daffy kept messing up or something would happen, and my favorite part is when oh crap, what was it? Daffy, something happened, and Daffy just looks at Bugs Bunny and just goes, "You smug son of a," and they cut it.
Okay, I remember that. See, but that's what I'm talking about, is that should have kept going. I mean, that's exactly what I expect from Looney Tunes. And the fact that they just sort of dropped it.
Well, to be fair, there has been an announcement in the cartoon world where there is going to be a new run of shorts coming through, and they're actually using as a template the old yellow gloved Bugs Bunny.
Really?
Yeah, it's right now actually going on this week or next week.
That is interesting.
Is it either this week or next week? There is an animation festival that's happening in France, and they are premiering it. And I think the first episode is either free to watch or will be free to watch at some point coming up here. But I actually have that marked to take a look at. But I think it's like it's either coming up here soon, but they were talking about having some shorts based off of the old school original characters and stuff. So
Okay, that's cool, because it's not like I have to have the old cartoons. The old cartoons are the best. Blah blah blah. The new stuff sucks. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I don't get why something that should have kept going didn't keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like let's have 500 episodes of the Bugs Bunny show. I'm just simply saying that their strength was really funny shorts.
Yeah, and
And to have like a couple shorts every year doesn't seem like a strange thing to do to me.
and they even tried with the Looney Tunes show for a while, and that was very hit or miss to me. You either had some
When
really,
it was funny, it was really funny.
Either you had some really great stuff, or the rest of it was kind of eh.
Yeah, I remember some stuff watching it going like, well, I see where they're going with this. This is in fact funny, but it's not blowing me away. Because you watch some cartoons and you're just going like, you guys are just calling it in. You're just wild taking it over and over again, and there's no real cleverness. But with that one, I thought it was quite good, but not necessarily excellent. But when it was excellent, oh my God,
Yeah.
the Withered.
Yes, behold the wizard.
The whole Daffy Duck wizard music video
The
bit.
70s rock video.
Just amazing. Just legitimately
Or the 80s.
70s, 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
And him going back and forth from the real world or their world versus his imaginary wizard world.
Oh yeah, no, just really.
And that was to me that was one of their best musical interludes there.
Well, one of the other good ones was Tweety Bird and Granny in the World War II spy epic,
Yeah.
where it wasn't even really meant to be funny. You just got to see what Granny was like when she was younger, and I was going like, I would watch this. Give me an actual Granny being an American spy in France during World War II, fighting the Nazis, with Tweety Bird as like her an informant. Carrier pigeon. That was right. I just saw that and my mouth was hanging open. The only criticism I had was, and this is my taste, it's probably not what they should do, is I wanted it to be a little bit more serious, just a little bit. Just a little bit more danger, because I'm going like, it's the Nazis. You know?
She did roundhouse kick one in the face with some high heels on.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying is I was like, they were like right on the edge of really making that like kind of hard pounding, and I was like, okay, this may not be the greatest thing ever, but this is one of the more interesting things they've ever done. It could have been stronger, but it was like kind of by a wide margin, like really interesting. I was going like, wait, where is this going? And they were saving art from the Louvre, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, it was so good. Could have been better, but overall it was going like, I'm not going to use the word brave. That's the incorrect word. Not because it was like, oh, politically sensitive or whatever, but because it was meant for kids. And you were kind of doing a historical piece for kids with like genocidal villains like the Nazis, and they were in fact the Nazis in the cartoon. I think they kept the swastikas and stuff quite a bit under control.
They had the armbands and stuff.
But they had the armbands and stuff, and I was going like, this is cool. You know, like,
It's funny because we actually I think we came home for vacation or something. We had come home from a long trip, and we turned everything on. And that was on, and I sat down, and I think you were either in the kitchen or something. It's like, and you came in, you were like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. And we sat down and watched it, and wait, it's the Looney Tunes show. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? Really?
yeah, the thing that I liked about that one was it was really interesting. And then they had a number of them that were really funny, but the ones that when it got good, it got really, really, really good. The rest of the time, it was okay.
Yeah, I love
Nothing
that.
wrong with it, but okay.
So many people certain group of people got angry because those who love Lola Bunny from Space Jam, like her introduction into the Looney Tunes show, she was this weird scatterbrain, like almost like psychotic stalker.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That's cool.
it was this great shot, and I didn't see this one, but I've only seen the clips of it, where Bugs Bunny he's in his house and it's raining outside. And it's dark, and then the lightning flashes, and you just see her standing outside his window. And then when it goes dark, he turns around and she's not there.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. I wasn't saying that there needs to be a million tons of Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes. But it always surprised me that it went dead for so long. We're finally getting some back because, and yeah, maybe it needs to reinvent itself because some of these properties are old. That's fine. I'm not one of these guys that's going like, it was best when I was young because I was young when it was best and blah blah. I'm like, no, there were flat out some Bugs Bunnies in the past and some Daffy Ducks and some Porky Pigs and blah 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 that wasn't hitting the mark back in the day. Yeah. And then there were the brilliant ones that were so funny you hurt laughing.
I'm looking up to see if I can find that whole cartoon. Sorry, this picture of a cat biting a foot and regretting it because apparently the foot was stinky. It's caught my. I'm trying to find the information regarding that. If I even saved it, which I thought I did. Where did I find that? Alright, I'm just going to look it up, General. Put a space between the words. There we go. Okay, Warner Brothers Studios released a still of the completed Looney Tunes cartoons short ahead of its premiere Monday at the Annecy International Animation Festival. The still shows Bugs Bunny evading an angry, axe-wielding Elmer Fudd, reminiscent of the classic 30s and 40s styles of Chuck Jones, Friz Freleng, and Bob Clampett. Clampett, that's what I'm looking for. It's a familiar scene to many fans that will end with Bugs performing some sleight of hand to turn the tables on his hapless pursuer. Okay, let's see anything from the ground. Since the preview, the studio has completed more than 20 shorts. Executive producer Peter Braungart anticipates the number will go to more than 200 with a total running of 1,000 minutes. But
good.
That's a still from the upcoming new shorts.
Okay, see, now that right there, that is both new and old at the same time, and that I'm very curious to see that.
Yeah, the festival. Let's see, and this was on June the 5th. So the festival is going on. Let's see, today is the 8th. Yes, it is. So Monday is will be the premiere of it. So
right on. Well, it almost sounds like I did this on purpose.
Well, hey, you're channeling the spirits of the animators and artists before you. There we go.
Or something.
Okay, and even before then, a year ago, they actually announced it. Yeah.
1,000 minutes. You know, there's going to be some doofus out there with like a stopwatch. Mm-hmm. They promised me 1,000 minutes.
Because as we've learned on the internet, people have nothing better to do.
This is true. Well, hey, you know, whatever floats your boat.
Hey,
I'm just glad to have it. I don't care about the exact minute count.
I was going to say, hey, people have nothing else better to do. Hey, watch us. Okay. Try it again. Rewind. Warner Brothers Animation is announcing its most ambitious Looney Tunes content initiative to date with Looney Tunes Cartoons, a series of new short forms cartoons starring the iconic and beloved Looney Tunes characters.
Good.
With multiple artists employing a visual style that will resonate with fans each season, quote unquote, will produce 1,000 minutes of all new Looney Tunes animation that will be distributed across multiple platforms, including digital, mobile, and broadcast. Looney Tunes Cartoons echoes the high production value and process of the original Looney Tunes theatrical shorts, with a cartoonist-driven approach to the story. Bugs Bunny, Daffy, Porky, and other marquee Looney Tunes characters will be featured in their classic pairings in simple, gag-driven, and visually vibrant stories.
Nice.
Each cartoon will vary from 1 to 6 minutes in length, and from the premise on through to the jokes will be written and drawn by the cartoonist, allowing their own personality and style to come through in each cartoon. The Looney Tunes are one of the most beloved group of animated characters in the world,
Yeah, no
said
joke.
Sam Register, president of Warner Brothers and Warner Digital. Looney Tunes Cartoons places these characters into the hands of some of the best artists in the business and into an animated short format that will remind many of the time when they first fell in love with Bugs, Daffy, Porky, and the rest of the gang.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, tell me, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner?
Probably.
Please. Oh, I hope so. I love those two.
Okay, I haven't mentioned them, but yeah, it'll be interesting because apparently, yeah, each artist that's going to be working on is going to be doing it in their own style, so we're going to be seeing them in different
Oh,
types.
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's also smart for them because they can see how. Because I mean, like you have in the old days, there were clearly some artists and such that worked out really, really, really well, and so they did a bunch of them. So you'd figure that they would be kind of embracing that, you know, because they have an easy way of like getting shorts out, and they have been doing it for so long that I was going like, wait a minute, why don't you guys produce like this a bunch of shorts and find out, you know, which styles and artists are working out, you know, well with the fans. It's about freaking time because, you know, there's a bunch of cartoonists right now that are just sitting there kind of twisting in the wind going like, could be the next thing, but we're not doing the, you know, because there's a lot of 3D and there's a lot of this, and I'm going like, I'm just thankful they're doing this because it's about freaking time. There's cartoonists and animators out there just chomping at the bit for this kind of thing to come back.
Yep. And not only that, I mean, that's one thing I am appreciatively a little bit wary on, but still more appreciative, is like with Hulu and Netflix now getting their own animation studios, they can now employ a lot of these people who have great ideas and who just want to do stuff and just want
Yeah, there's just people out there who want to work.
Yeah.
You know? Let them work.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they got great ideas and they've got great creativity and.
You telling me people don't want to laugh for 10 minutes out there?
Yeah, especially in today's climate.
Especially, yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's almost like people are getting afraid to laugh nowadays. It's like the moment they laugh at something, it's like, well, are we laughing at something that somebody's doing that's bad, or blah blah blah?
Well, no, see, that's even the point. Is that everyone's questioning why you're laughing at something. You know, and it's just, you end up going like, it's the kind of current climate is a whole lot of reasons to not laugh, and I'm just going like, I'm done with it. I'm totally done with it. I don't care anymore. And I'm hoping that Looney Tunes comes out, and I'm hoping that initiative, frankly, has some cojones behind it. And, you know, it's like, you know, hopefully some of the jokes will in fact be a little risque, and they take some chances. And I'm not saying mean-spirited. I'm like, no, I think the intent should be everyone should be laughing and having fun. But you can't laugh if everything is safe. It's not really that funny. That's why the original Looney Tunes and a lot of the original cartoons, period, were really, really funny. It's because, well, it was the old school stuff. It wasn't all safe. It just wasn't. Yeah. And admittedly, there's a reason why some of those cartoons were, offensive at moments. But there's also moments where some people are like, they're offensive, and other people are like, no, that was funny. Yeah. You know, so it's like, I would rather it exist, and then the conversation exists of what is offensive and what isn't, instead of everything being, oh, no, it's going to be okay. We made sure the world is safe for you. Oh, no. I want kids asking questions. And I want them really asking questions. Like, Mom, Dad, you know, why did Auntie blah 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 get angry at that cartoon? It's like, well, then a conversation can be had. But if there's never a piece to have a conversation on, because the world is so safe, it's like, come on, really? Does it have to be? Does everything have to be so freaking safe? I'm not saying let's be highly offensive and angry and mean and hateful. I'm not saying that. But everything's so safe. I don't. No, I don't agree with that.
It looks like they got good people that's going to be working on it. I mean, get back to the crew list here. The 4 major producers who are going to be working on it. Let's see, they've worked on shows like, let's see, Flapjack, Adventure Time, Uncle Grandpa, the Mickey Mouse shorts, Wander Over Yonder, Life as a Teenage Robot, DuckTales, the new DuckTales,
Nice.
Foster's Home.
There's some good shows on that list.
Harley Quinn for DC Universe, the new Animaniacs coming back to Hulu.
Okay. How's that looking, by the way?
Still waiting to hear stuff from it, but from what I understand, they do have the original crew, the original voices back.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's a good start.
Yeah, Ron Paulson was talking about that, so that's a good signal right there.
Good start.
Let's see, Superhero Girl, Teen Titans Go.
Like, I've only seen one episode of that, but I thought that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, but so they got some good people who they've been working on stuff for forever. Well, not
Good.
forever, but they've been working on things for a while. I mean, Foster's Home, that was
Yeah,
that's really good.
that's an excellent show.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a bit of faith in that. That's gonna hopefully be fun.
Cool.
They were talking about it from the pre-screenings from last year, and one of the comments is, let's see, the highlights are, last year's Works in Progress presentation by Warner Animation Group and Warner Brothers Animation at Annecy was among the best received in recent memory.
Nice.
For a few brief moments, the audience of industry pros, animation students and press were transported back to Saturday morning, spent in the living room floor eating dry cereal out of the box in their pajamas. Their laughter was raucous and persistent throughout the brief screening. The clipped screen was a spoof of the Indiana Jones type toon caper and shown in animatics. The Curse of the Monkey Bird featured Daffy Duck and Porky Pig venturing into a jungle temple in search of its allegedly cursed treasure.
Nice.
The Annecy audience ate up in particular one inspired sequence where, thanks to Daffy's ineptitude, Porky was, in rapid succession, shot by paralyzing arrows, punched by a giant boxing glove, crushed by a mace, blown up and made victim to a trap floor, plunging into a subterranean level where Daffy, unscathed, then joins him. So it sounds like they're going back to the classic, just
Good.
yeah.
Because there's no reason to not do that stuff.
They're fun. Well, it's that whole just things come in waves, and for a while
We have to protect the children.
Well, not that, but it's just the fact that it wasn't just the fact of having to protect the children. It's just that for a while, that stuff wasn't what was being wasn't of interest.
I think it was of interest. I think there were adults that were like, we have to protect some people. This isn't right anymore to show on
Or I
television.
think it was the adults doing more of the, this is what kids find funny mentality, because we as adults know better, kind of. And when we experienced that in the 80s with all the crap that we had to watch.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not your business, Ted Turner. It's just not. I'm sorry.
Well, not only that was 90s, not only Ted Turner, but that started in the 80s with what's that, Nancy Reagan with the Just Say No.
Yeah, and the Tipper Gore stuff of
Yeah.
protecting us from
Yep. that.
We'll tell you what songs are good for you to listen to. You don't get to tell me anything. I decide that for myself. Thank you. I am, in fact, an adult.
Oh, it was it was a rapper who testified when Congress was doing all of the whole...
Oh, there was a number of people.
Oh, yeah, but it was one particular was a rapper that basically told them off. I
Yeah,
know,
Dee Snider did similar
yeah,
with
there
heavy
was
metal.
the
Yeah.
guy from Kiss, Dee Snider did it also, but I actually think I wrote it down somewhere because it was such a great kind of like shut up and just let us do our thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's like I'm thankful there's people out there, you know, thinking that they can help. That's awesome. But it's also like it's not your business. It's just not.
And here it is. It says the rapper Yo-Yo, which I remember her, in a congressional hearing in 1994 says, attack the world the world the rappers live in, not the words that they use to describe it.
Sure. Yeah.
Being from the hood, I can tell you that violence didn't start from a cassette tape that might have been popped into a home or car stereo system. And she's absolutely right.
Yeah, she is. Well, it's also, and it was the point that Dee Snider from Twisted Sister did when he got up in front of there being, you don't get to interpret what those songs are about. Just because you don't like the lyrics doesn't mean that you understand what the song is about. And so, and it might be about something awful, but they were sitting there telling him what his music was about.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there going like, no, I was the one that wrote that song, and I'm not making it up. That's not what it's about. Because like he had one song that was about, it was his drummer or his, one of his dudes. Mm-hmm. Had like throat surgery. So like this one song, which is all dark and blah blah blah, is literally about this dude's throat surgery. So it's not about murdering people. No, see that's what that person was reading it in. And I would be more concerned with the, and I think that's even what he said. It's like I'm more concerned with one of our senators, congressmen, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, being so obsessed about this being about murder.
Yeah.
It's like you're the one assuming it's about murder and torture and blah blah blah.
Why are you so?
Yeah. Why are you obsessed with that?
Why,
you know.
What are you hearing? Like if that's
what
you're
that's
hearing,
it.
Yes. If that's what you're hearing, we need to talk. Maybe you need some help.
Yeah. Exactly right. And the point, and that was the point he made. It was like, look, you're the one reading that into this. It's like that's not me, that's you, you know. Mm-hmm. And in a lot of heavy metal is, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's all not like what it sounds like. Well, no, a lot of it is, but the point is nobody else gets to, you know, impede upon their freedom of expression. Period. And, you know, fine, it's about something really hideously awful. Baby barbecues or whatever, something really hideous. It's not illegal. I'm sorry, it just isn't. It's illegal to do a baby barbecue. It's not illegal to make a song or artwork or even a puppet show or whatever about it. So it's like thank you everyone out there trying to help us, but that's not your business. It just isn't. You know, oh, it's you know, but we need to blah blah. It's like, no, you need to stay out of people's business. You know, but blah blah blah. No. Stay out of people's business. But Boondocks uses the N-word. Then don't listen. It may not be a good idea to repeat what is in a Boondocks cartoon out on the street, but if you don't agree with it,
and even with that,
don't listen.
Maybe instead of just having that one word catch your ear, maybe you should sit down and listen to why they're using that word.
Well, there's a great many things. Like, there's some acts that Richard Pryor did. Wow. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they weren't funny.
Mm-hmm. Again, that was the culture of the time, and that was like art reflects what's happening at that moment as it should.
And exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's that, and that was a heavy duty something that was happening at that time period. There was a whole bunch of stuff. So.
But to
yeah.
sit there and think that you're actually wise enough, and you as in anybody, to sit there and go like, I'm going to censor this because this is for the betterment or for a political reason or for this or for that, or my ears are made of cotton candy and they might burn if you say a naughty word or talk about a this or a that. I'm going like, I'm sorry. I know you're all well intended, but it's not your business. Just if you don't like it, don't listen to it, don't look at it. Blah blah blah. You know, it's just that simple. And I know there's a lot of really well-intending people out there, but it's just, if you don't like something, I don't care for country western, so I don't listen to it.
Yep.
Except for the handful of songs that are actually quite good, but it's not the new stuff. But still, that's my point. Is if I don't like it, I just don't say anything about it. It's like, well, it's not my business. Oh, satisfying. Alright. Well, actually got some on my screen. I didn't know you could do that. Okay. Guess there was static charge or something holding it.
Yep.
I look up and like my screen has like shavings on it. What?
I was laughing at seeing what it looks like on the from your angle there.
Oh. Yeah, for everyone in
From the
TV
watcher
land,
angle, yeah.
of a broadcast right up there, so we so we can check how things look, and then I can giggle at myself, and then my wife can giggle at me, and blah blah blah. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
That's not bad. Oh, I think I should darken in a couple lines. Should probably get that outlined a little better. There we go. All right. Well, everyone have yourself a good week. I will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. as I am trying every Saturday and Sunday to be on at 4 p.m. And you all have yourself a good day. Oh, actually, I almost did it again. I almost forgot to do my Mr. Rogers bit.
You want to say you're coming up pretty quick there.
Oh, no. I'm a little off rhythm this week. Actually, the last couple of weeks I've been a little off rhythm. Oh, it's okay. Look, it's still true.
Yeah.
Oh, I just operated my box well. I always like it when I operate my box well. All right, there we go.
You said it, not me.
Yes. Okay, well, everyone have yourself a good one. We will catch you later.